So a lot gets down to this other quality that is a part of faith. So this is a sub-point of faith, and that's the quality of desire. Right? Desire is an aspect of faith. It's going to get down to how much you desire it for yourself as to what's going to happen for your future with regard to your relationship with God. It's going to boil down to this: how much faith do you have that this is available to you and that you would like it? You know, in the Paget messages, there's a message from Solomon, a very short message, and he was asked by James Paget, what was the most important thing in the universe? And Solomon, in his wisdom, said, love on the part of God and faith on the part of humans. And he said that because without faith, you will never receive the love. And this is why on Friday, we had the conversation with you about developing more faith in God. You see, a lot of times we think, oh, I'm not receiving God's love because I've got this problem or that addiction, or I don't understand this and I don't understand that, and I don't really get my head around this idea or concept. No, that's not why. The only reason why we don't receive God's love is because we lack faith. We lack desire. We lack desire for it. Yeah. And now there might be many reasons why you lack your desire. To address them. If you think of all the problems you face currently, right now in your life, the most important one is probably the one you haven't thought about very much, and that is the problems you have with God. Those problems are the ones affecting you the most. If we could write a priority system of all of your problems, you know, somebody might say, oh, you know, I've just broken up from my wife or husband, or oh, my child's going through this terrible trauma, and I want to know how to help them. And you know, there's all, you know, we could raise a lot of things, couldn't we? Like, you know, oh, you know, I'm in this country that's getting abused by other countries, and you know, like Ukraine or whatever, and getting attacked, and so you know, that's really bad, and whatever you could say are the problems, none of them are as big as the single problem of your resistance towards God's love. Not a single one of them. And yet that's the opposite way we think. We sort of go, oh, if I address this problem and I address that problem and I address that problem and I address that problem, once I get down to being calm with all of those problems, then I can focus attention on God. And I'm saying to you, no, you got to, what we say in Australia, arse about. In other words, bum instead of head first, right? You've got it back to front. The real problem is that if we can address our issues with God as a priority, so issues with God's authority, issue with God's laws, issue with God's nature and personality. Many of us have issues with God's nature and personality. We think God's terrible. You know, we've been educated by religion to think that God is a monster, that an egomaniac. We've been educated by religion and by others to believe God doesn't even exist. You know, so we've got problems with God, but if we could solve our problems with God first, then, as I said in the first century, every other problem you will easily find a solution, because the King of the universe, God, right, can talk to you about it. And God knows, she knows every problem you have. And she knows the cause of every one of them. And she knows what you need to do to fix every one of them. And if you could have a relationship with God, you'd fix everything else. Right? So the relationship with God is such a practical thing for your life. It's such an important thing to let yourself feel about, and particularly focus on, with priority in your life, focus on all the reasons why you don't have one. Like, put that first. Like, my suggestion to you is, I know that these other problems that you have family problems and friend problems and, economic problems, and there's all sorts of problems that we have on earth. All of these problems all have solutions, but the issue really is, well, who can provide me with a solution? And also, all of these problems are nowhere near as important to your future as the problem you have with God. And I know because God's so quiet and mild and unassuming. This blows me away about God, is that God's not going to force herself on you. God's not going to control your life and force you to have a relationship with her. So she's so mild and unassuming and about what she's offering you. She loves you, cares about you, nurtures your existence, even if you don't care about her. And yet she's just waiting for you to make this decision to put it first. And then all these other things will be fixed. All these other things will be added to you. If you do it sincerely, that's what happens. And so I can't sort of express to you enough the need to sort of readjust your lifestyle so that you can put God as your priority and try to have this relationship with God. Now, you're going to get frustrated because at the beginning you got so many addictions that you're going to try to have them with God, But God will sort that out with you if you're sincere. That'll be sorted as well. Your addictions will be confronted. You'll have to let them go. That'll all go as well. God has the means, and we might talk about that a little bit after our lunch, the means to share truth with you directly, so that you can work on these qualities and grow in love and receive more of God's love. God has the ability to share truths with you about why that's not working and why you can't receive love and all those things. But it requires some sincerity and honesty with yourself on your part to work out whether you really care about it very much. Because a lot of the things we care about are nowhere near as important to you as your future with God. Yeah.